You're starting from zero. No investments, no portfolio, maybe some savings in a bank account earning 1% while inflation runs 3%. You're watching everyone talk about stocks, crypto, real estate, and feeling completely lost. Where do you even start? What do you buy first? How much do you need? The internet gives you 1,000 conflicting answers, and most of them are garbage designed to sell you courses or products. I'm going to tell you exactly what I would do if I started investing in 2026 with nothing. No fluff, no sales pitch, just the exact step-by-step strategy that actually builds wealth. Month one is not about investing, it's about foundation. You need $1,000 in cash as a starter emergency fund before you invest a single dollar. Why? Because the moment you invest, something will break. Your car needs repairs, your laptop dies, you get a medical bill. If you don't have cash, you'll pull money out of investments at a loss, or worse, put it on a credit card at 22% interest. That destroys any investment gains. So month one, you hustle to get $1,000 in a high-yield savings account. Sell stuff, work overtime, cut every non-essential expense. Get to $1,000 cash. This is your shield against Murphy's Law. Month two, you open a Roth IRA at Fidelity or Vanguard, not a taxable brokerage account, a Roth IRA. Why? Because money grows tax-free forever, and withdrawals in retirement are tax-free. This is the most powerful wealth-building account that exists. You can contribute $7,000 per year in 2026 if you're under 50. That's $583 per month. Can't afford $583? Start with whatever you can, even $100 monthly. The account matters more than the amount at this stage. Open the Roth IRA. Don't overthink the provider. Fidelity and Vanguard are both excellent with low fees and great platforms. Month three, you make your first investment. You're putting money into one thing, a total U.S. stock market index fund. At Vanguard, that's VTSAX or VTI. At Fidelity, that's FSKAX or ITOT. These funds own thousands of U.S. companies, Apple, Microsoft, Nvidia, small companies, everything. You get instant diversification. The expense ratio is under 0.05%, meaning fees are almost nothing. You invest your $100 or whatever you can afford into this fund. That's it. One fund, total market. Done. Why not individual stocks? Because you'll lose. 90% of stock pickers underperform the market. You're not smarter than professionals who do this 80 hours per week with teams of analysts. You're a beginner with no experience. Buying individual stocks is gambling. Index funds guarantee you get market returns, which historically average 10% annually. That's enough to build serious wealth. Don't get cute. Don't try to beat the market. Just match it. Months 4 through 12, you do the same thing every single month. Contribute to your Roth IRA, buy the total stock market index fund, increase the amount as you're able. If you started at $100 and get a raise, go to $200. Got a bonus? Dump it. Tax refund? Straight to the Roth. Every dollar you invest in your 20s and 30s is worth $10 to $20 in retirement because of compound growth. You're not investing for next year. You're investing for 30 to 40 years from now. If you're realizing that building wealth is actually simple but requires discipline and consistency, subscribe now because I'm showing you exactly how to invest without the complexity that financial advisors use to justify their fees. Year 2, you add one thing, international stocks. You're still maxing or working toward maxing your Roth IRA with U.S. total market, but now you add international exposure. At Vanguard, that's VTIAX or VXUS. At Fidelity, it's FTIHX. This gives you exposure to companies outside the U.S., Europe, Asia, emerging markets. Why? Diversification. The U.S. market dominates now, but that can change. In the 1980s, Japan was the hottest market. In the 2000s, emerging markets crushed the U.S. You don't know which regions will outperform over the next 40 years. Own everything. Your allocation is simple. 70% U.S. total market, 30% international. Every month, you buy both to maintain that ratio. If you're investing $500 monthly, $350 goes to U.S., $150 to international. Rebalance annually if the percentages drift significantly. This two-fund portfolio is all you need for decades. It's boring, it works. Complexity doesn't equal better returns. Simple beats complex in investing. Years 3 through 5, you once open a taxable brokerage account. Why wait until year 3? Because tax-advantaged accounts are more valuable. Roth IRA first always. But once that's handled, you need additional investment space. The taxable brokerage account has no contribution limits. You can invest as much as you want. The downside is you pay taxes on dividends and capital gains. Still worth it because compound growth overpowers the taxes. In the taxable account, you do the same thing. Total U.S. stock market and international stocks. Same 70-30 split, same monthly contributions, same boring consistency. The only difference is you use ETFs instead of mutual funds for slight tax efficiency, VTI and VXUS instead of VTSAX and VTIAX. This minimizes taxable events. You're building a 3-account system, an emergency fund in high-yield savings, a Roth IRA maxed with index funds, a taxable brokerage growing with index funds. Years 4 and 5, you start adding bonds for stability. When you're young, 100% stocks is fine. You have decades to recover from crashes. But as your portfolio grows past $50,000 to $100,000, you want some stability. Bonds provide that. They're less volatile than stocks. When stocks crash, bonds usually hold steady or rise. A simple rule is your bond allocation should equal your age. At 30, 30% bonds. At 40, 40% bonds. I'd go more aggressive and say age minus 10. At 30, 20% bonds. For bonds, you want total bond market index funds. At Vanguard, that's VBTLX or BND. At Fidelity, it's FXNAX. You shift some of your monthly contributions into bonds to build that allocation. Your portfolio becomes 60% U.S. stocks, 20% international stocks, 20% bonds. This is a classic balanced portfolio that survives any market condition. It won't have the highest returns, but it won't crash 50% in a recession either. You can sleep at night. Years 6 through 10, you just keep doing the same thing. Contribute monthly, buy index funds, maintain your allocation, ignore market noise. This is the hardest part because it's boring. The market will crash, you'll watch your portfolio drop 30%, your instinct will be to sell. Don't. That's when you buy more. Market crashes are sales. Stocks are cheaper. You're buying more shares at lower prices. When the market recovers, and it always recovers, you'll have more shares and more wealth. People who sold during crashes locked in losses. People who bought got rich. The discipline of continuing to invest during crashes is what separates wealthy investors from everyone else. In 2020, COVID crashed markets 35% in March. Everyone panicked. Smart investors kept buying or increased buying. By August, the market was back to all-time highs. By 2021, it was up 50% from the bottom. If you sold in March, you missed the entire recovery. If you bought, you made a fortune. Here's what you don't do. You don't buy individual stocks. You don't day trade. You don't time the market. You don't buy crypto as your primary investment. You don't buy gold, commodities, or alternative assets until you have a 6-figure portfolio and understand what you're doing. You don't pay for stock-picking services, trading courses, or financial advisors who charge 1% annually. You don't chase hot stocks or meme stocks. You don't panic sell during crashes. You don't check your portfolio daily. You also don't stop investing when the market is too high. People say, "I'll wait for a crash to invest." The crash never comes, or when it does, they're too scared to buy. Time in the market beats timing the market. Every study proves this. Just keep investing consistently regardless of price. Some months you'll buy high, some months you'll buy low. Over decades, it averages out and you win. What about a house? Real estate is a good investment, but not your first investment. Save for a house while investing. Don't stop investing to save for a down payment faster. Do both. It takes longer, but you're not sacrificing compound growth. When you buy a house, make sure the mortgage payment is under 30% of take-home income. Don't become house poor. You still need to invest for retirement. What about employer 401k? If your employer offers 401k matching, contribute enough to get the full match before funding your Roth IRA. That's free money. If they match 3%, contribute 3% to get it. Then max your Roth IRA.
Then come back and max your 401k if you can. The priority is always employer match, then Roth IRA, then max 401k, then taxable brokerage. The bottom line is if I started investing in 2026, I'd build a $1,000 emergency fund, open a Roth IRA, invest in total U.S. and international stock index funds, add bonds as the portfolio grows, and keep contributing monthly for decades, regardless of market conditions. That's it. No complexity, no stock picking, no trading, just consistent contributions to low-cost index funds. This strategy has created millions of millionaires. It'll work for you, too, if you stick with it.